Hey guys, tonight we embark on a journey through the misty mountains of Iran, a land where whispers of the past carry tales of bravery, cunning, and perseverance. Imagine a world not bound by time where every stone and breeze holds a fragment of history. Picture yourself stepping onto the rugged slopes as the sun dips behind the ancient peaks. You can almost feel the chill of the evening air raise goosebumps on your skin, hinting at the secrets nestled in this secluded realm. As much as we trust your resourcefulness, exploring these ancient trails without guide or map might make for a perilous adventure. You probably won't survive this alone. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, feel free to post your location and local time in the comments below. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself amidst a circle of new companions, the Ismailis, an enigmatic group whose roots trace back to the complex lineage debate after the death of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Their faith, as deep as it is hidden, began taking shape in the shadows cast by dynastic discord. As factions clashed over rightful successors, the Ismailis sought solitude and safety in Iran's isolated mountain regions. By day, these quiet followers are indistinguishable from the merchants and herdsmen sharing the little paths that weave through endless hills. But as dusk envelops the land, the narrow trails become conduits to hidden enclaves, where whispered prayers echo softly against the walls carved from stone. Historians still debate whether their decision to settle in these rugged highlands was purely strategic, or perhaps an act of fate entwined with promise. Regardless, this move ensured safety from the overwhelming tides of Sunni persecution. It's here, amidst these lofty heights, that they slowly started to weave the threads of independent communities, each a tiny bastion of resilience. Imagine evenings under a sky splattered with stars where fires crackle warmly, and tales of ancestral bravery become lullabies, soothing worn spirits. Within such a community renowned for craftsmanship and wisdom, you're likely to encounter a Nisa, a spirited elder, whose stories knit the past into the present. Her eyes glimmer with secrets as she recounts how the Ismailis, despite their small numbers, left an indelible mark on the pages of history, using wit and unity where force stood sterile. The Ismailis concocted strategies as innovative as the mountainous paths they called home. They utilized goat fat in ways you probably never imagined between the grasps of stone and skin, creating waterproof seals integral for surviving the elements, much like their own existence, ever adaptable to the shifting political landscapes. As you listen, the night wraps around you, blending the past with the present. You sense the courage it takes to maintain belief against battering storms of adversities, embodying a truth as tangible as the ancient rocks beneath your feet. With each story, you drift a little further into the comforting abyss of shared history, knowing tomorrow will bring more to uncover amidst these storied peaks. You find yourself in the vibrant heart of a bustling Cairo, a city filled with whispers and stories that echo through its sun-drenched streets. The air carries a mix of spices and intrigue as the Fatimid dynasty stands on the precipice of change. Al-Mustansir, the caliph who once brought stability, has passed away, leaving his empire teetering. You feel the weight of history pressing around you, a sensation that somehow promises adventure, and perhaps a touch of peril, just the kind of tale where you probably won't survive without some fascinating twists. Amidst the flickering lamplight of the bazaar, you notice a division among the people. Some remain steadfast, pledging loyalty to Al-Mustansir's appointed successor, while others cast hopeful eyes toward his son Nizar. Historians still debate whether Nizar had the rightful claim to the throne. But tonight, it's the dilemma faced by those who walk in his shadow that captures your imagination. The city buzzes with tension, and a mysterious group, the Nizaris, gather, exchanging determined glances and hushed plans. You sense the urgency in the air. Their loyalty to Nizar is unwavering, but they know they must leave Cairo if they are to fulfill their dreams of independence. Like echoes of a whispered secret, these decisions ripple through the city, leaving a permanent mark on its history and your unfolding story. As the Nizaris prepare to move eastward, the call of the journey beckons you. The path they tread is fraught with uncertainty. No one knows what lies in the lands beyond, but the promise of a new beginning dances like fireflies before them. In the moonlit silence of the desert night, with stars blanketing the sky, you join them in their quest for a place where their dreams can take root. Despite the unease of leaving their home, there's a warmth amongst the travelers, a shared belief in the righteousness of their mission. Alongside the camels, you stride past the ancient pyramids, their colossal shadows serving as silent witnesses to the unfolding drama. You overhear snippets of conversations, stories of courage, and snippets of family anecdotes passed down through generations. As the journey unfolds, you find quiet moments to ponder the surprising intricacies of the human spirit. How is it that in times of division and discord, there still exists an undercurrent of unity and resolve? It gestures back to moments of calm and courage shared under the Egyptian sun, grounding you within the historic adventure. At times, the desert seems endless, its sands echoing the colors of the sunset as red fades to violet. Still, the Nizaris press on, guided by stars and hope. You hear tales of their resilience, stories that might one day become legends. Perhaps these will answer your silent question of who they are and who they might become. In fleeting moments, laughter pierces the sober night. Someone tells a tale about a goat with a mischievous appetite for papyrus, scrolls a diversion just like the goat fat trick you heard about earlier on this very journey. The exhaustion subtly gives way to camaraderie, reinforcing a sense of community among the group. They share food, stories, and dreams as the desert night wraps around them like a soft, protective cloak. The horizon eventually gives way to new lands, an expanse promising the freedom they seek. Yet even in this newfound place, histories await new writers, and stories beg fresh tellers. Perhaps this is why the tale resonates so deeply. It's as much about where we've been as where we are going, the transition between past and future. With each step forward through uncharted lands, the Nizaris root themselves deeper into their chosen identities, readying themselves to carve out their place in the annals of time. Perhaps you'll have a chance to pen an unwritten chapter of your own along the way, should the night paths lead you there. Amidst the echoes of Cairo, the whispering desert sands, and the soft lull of shared dreams, you close your eyes gently. The night folds around you, welcoming you into restful stories yet to be told. Picture yourself in the ancient city of Qom, where the early morning sun barely begins to cast its warm glow over the rugged hills in the distance. You can hear the soft rustling of the leaves in the gentle breeze, and the far-off sounds of people starting their day. Here beneath a vast sky, a remarkable journey is about to unfold yours as you follow in the footsteps of Hassan-i Sabbah, shaped by this very world. Born into a modest family in Qom, you imagine yourself standing near Hassan as a child, watching him filled with wonder about the wider world beyond this quiet landscape. The air buzzes with possibilities as you grow older under the vast Persian skies. Soon, you find yourself not just in Qom, but in bustling Cairo, a city vibrant with scholarship and wisdom. The sights and sounds are dazzlingly different, a mosaic of cultures and ideas flickering like the stars above you. In Cairo, you delve into the mysteries of knowledge, losing yourself in study just as Hassan did. The secrets of philosophy and theology captivate you, each revelation, a candle flickering to life in the dim expanse of understanding. As you walk among scholars, each conversation is a step into a deeper pool of wisdom. Amidst all this, whispers of the Ismaili thought echo, urging a new perspective on faith and community. Yet, despite Cairo's intellectual wealth, visions of change stir in your heart as they did in Hassan's. The call to return to Iran rings clear, beckoning you like an ancient melody remembered from youth. Historians still debate exactly what compelled Hassan to return, but the vision to build something new, unique, a beacon of independence, was undeniable. Imagine stepping back onto Iranian soil, the cool earth firm beneath your feet, with ambitions as vast as the skies above. You are drawn to the mighty fortress of Alamut, perched defiantly upon a rocky outcrop, embraced by the wild, soaring mountains. The year is 1090, and its formidable ramparts challenge all who look upon it. The air carries a curious quiet, as if holding its breath for what will come next. The fortress is not just a defense, it holds potential, perhaps much as it did the first time Hassan ascended its stony path. Seizing it was not the work of muscle alone, but of careful strategy, a surprise to those who underestimated the power of intellect and faith combined. Throughout the halls of Alamut, the echoes of purpose reverberate, inspiring all who reside there. As days turn to weeks, then months, Alamut transforms, not just into a bastion of security, but into a flourishing center of scholarship and learning. You walk the corridors with a sense of peace, surrounded by the hum of knowledge being exchanged. Philosophers debate, astronomers map the stars, each brick of the fortress seeming to resonate with their pursuits. Amid these endeavors, one cannot ignore the whisper of uncertainty. Did Hassan dream of this very moment in the quiet of Qom or the fervor of Cairo? Regardless, Alamut stands gleaming as a testament to his vision, a place where the Ismaili community can thrive, cliff sides as serene as they are steep, matching the tranquility found within. The stories of Alamut spread an unusual tale of a man who turned a remote refuge into a heartbeat of new ideas. You find solace in the landscape, watching history unfurl before you. Somewhere in the breezy corridors, past and present, entwine, drawing you deeper into the legend. And so slowly, the gentle rhythm of this place lulls you, as if even the sturdy stones have their own whispered secrets to share. It is here that you rest your thoughts, allowing the calm continuity of history to cradle you as you drift into dreams as eternal as the stars over Alamut. As you stand upon the rugged terrain high in the mountains, the mist swirls around your feet, wrapping the ancient stones in a shroud of mystery. Before you looms Alamut, perched like an eagle's nest on its rocky perch. This is no mere fortress. It is a sanctuary of knowledge, a cradle of cunning strategy and profound thought. The crisp mountain air fills your lungs as you walk toward its imposing gates, your mind teetering between the thrill of adventure and the humble recognition of how small you really are against the vastness of this ancient world. Here at Alamut, you discover more than just thick, impenetrable walls and towers scratching the sky. You find shelves upon shelves, lined with manuscripts, thousands of them, possibly more than the stars you can see on a clear night. Each manuscript offers a piece of wisdom, a sliver of the world's history, meticulously recorded by scribes whose dedication outlived their time. Yet scholars today often wonder what the hidden ink might still whisper in those forgotten texts, since so many secrets are still locked away in that mountain stronghold. As your fingers hover over the brittle pages, you feel the weight of human knowledge through the ages. One particular manuscript catches your eye, illustrating the strategic mind of its inhabitants. It speaks of discipline that forged followers into steadfast sentinels of their creed. Training here went beyond the physical. It's where bodies were hardened and minds sharpened. The legendary Hassan-i Sabbah, the visionary behind this citadel, molded his students not just into warriors, but into philosophers and leaders. Imagine yourself donning a cloak of secrecy and purpose, moving through tunnels, stone carved by those who dared to defy the usual norms of warfare. Even now, historians debate whether the stories that spring from Alamut's past are mere embellishments or an accurate chronicle of its legendary figures' deeds. The fortress itself, nestled among the clouds, felt like an unassailable fortress of solitude, a mystical beacon to those chosen to tread its hallowed grounds. Solemn whispers echo through the halls, disciples reciting texts and sharing tales that would become timeless legacies. In this place, the invisible threads of loyalty were spun thicker than the walls, grounded in a code that valued both wisdom and endurance. Surprising, isn't it? While one might think of Alamut solely as a fortress of military might, its greatest strength lay in the conviction instilled within its followers, mental prowess over mere physical power. You ponder what it must have been like to sit at the feet of a master strategist, absorbing lessons not only of combat, but of patience, foresight, and the art of persuasion. As you continue your imaginary tour, Through the labyrinthine passages, each twist and turn seems to whisper stories of old. There's a lightheartedness to the thought that amidst such gravity and discipline, maybe there was laughter too, perhaps, in the form of a legendary trick, a clever riddle, or an unexpected twist, just like the goat fat trick you heard about earlier in your journey. Your exploration brings you to the heart of the fortress, a grand courtyard bathed in the soft glow of evening light. Here the faithful gathered not just to train, but to reflect. The air is thick with the scent of herbs, possibly used in their healing practices, or perhaps merely to ward off the chilly winds that cut through the mountains. These were people who lived in harmony with their environment, knowledgeable in the ways of survival, and learned enough to intertwine espionage with enlightenment. It's said that their teachings were so rigorous that even a drop of water from their pitchers could symbolize countless hours of studied theory, a treasure trove of wisdom handed down through the ages. As you stand there watching the sun dip beneath the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, you feel a profound connection to those who once called this place home. Their legacy stretches beyond mere walls, or words it echoes in the cliffs, resonating through time like a gentle lullaby. Within these stone confines, you're reminded that often the most formidable strongholds are not built of stone or wood, but of intellect and spirit, a reflection of all that has passed yet shaping all that is to come. Alamut's story is woven into the fabric of history, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dared to dream and defend their paradise amidst the clouds. As night gently closes in and stars begin to twinkle above the story of Alamut, invites you to stay a little longer in its embrace. A soothing narrative, gently guiding you into the quiet depth of dreams and rest. You find yourself walking along a narrow winding path. The moonlight bathes everything in a silver glow, and the gentle rustling of leaves whispers secrets from the past. The air is cool, and each step forward takes you deeper into a world enriched by mystery and the wisdom of ages. The journey you embark on tonight leads you to explore one of the most intellectual and reflective branches of Islam, the Ismailis. As you walk, you notice a charming figure step out of history, adorned in clothing of a time long past. It's an Ismaili scholar, no imposing figure yet, with confidence in their posture, signaling a life devoted to exploring the divine beyond mere literalism. Welcome, they seem to say, with their eyes guiding you into a domain where the mind dances with the soul. In this realm, the Quran becomes more than scripture. It is a landscape of symbols and philosophies where a single verse may lead to hours of contemplation. Unlike some other Islamic branches which emphasize strict adherence and tradition, the Ismailis invite you to think, reflect, and question. They lead you to an ancient library filled with writings that once swayed the hearts and minds of people seeking more than faith, but understanding. You begin to leaf through a book, touching the yellowed pages, tenderly feeling the weight of history in your hands. Did you know that the Ismailis, part of the broader Shia community, diverged early in Islamic history Over a disagreement about the rightful leader or imam after the Prophet Muhammad's passing, this lot takes the path less traveled, often immersed in the philosophical and esoteric dimensions of life. As you delve deeper into the script, a reality check looms. Could you truly untangle these complex ideas and debates without losing your way? But don't worry, your companion scholar is there, never allowing you to falter. They introduce you to a concept central to Ismaili belief, ta'wil, or allegorical interpretation, a way of reading the Quran that lifts the veil on truths hidden just beneath the surface. Ta'wil, they explain with a quiet smile, is the art of journeying into the depths. It's akin to peeling back the layers of an onion, each one revealing something new, something profound that enriches the soul beyond mere obedience. Historians still debate whether this emphasis on intellectualism was an inborn trait of the Ismailis or a response to the tumultuous environments in which they blossomed. Yet what remains clear is how this scholarly pursuit gave rise to a rich tapestry of thought and innovation. Your mind wanders like a leaf on a gentle stream, tracing the history through various peaks and valleys of upheaval, as Ismailis were often forced to move and adapt, carrying their ideas into new lands. Imagine the discussions held in hidden libraries, the sharing of theories that would one day contribute to vast fields such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. And just when you think your mind might burst with the immensity of it all, you come across an unusual fact that makes you smile. A renowned 11th century Ismaili thinker, Nasir Khusrau, once cataloged over 130 varieties of peaches, not because he found them delicious necessarily, but because for Ismailis, every element in the world held a secret waiting to unfold, just as every word of the Quran held deeper meaning. So here you are standing amidst a cascade of knowledge and history, an endless unfolding that entices you further into the night. As the air grows colder, the scholar at your side offers you a cloak. Stay a while, their presence soothes. There's always more to discover. With only the quiet sounds of turning pages and your thoughts to accompany you, you let yourself sink deeper into the teachings of the Ismailis. Their world is intoxicating not just for its intellectual fears, but for the comfort that comes from knowing that understanding is never finite. Just when you believe you've grasped a concept, another layer emerges ready to challenge and engage you once more. So let your mind wander freely and explore these possibilities. Curiosity is your guide tonight in this enclave of enlightened thought. And there is no rush to find the answers. The night stretches before you serene and inviting a soft whisper encouraging you to learn, question, and grow. You stand in the cool, quiet courtyard of the mountain stronghold. The mountains rise like ancient guardians around you, their peaks shrouded in soft mist that shimmers under the pale moonlight. The air is crisp and carries the scent of juniper and earth. You watch as the young recruits move in fluid synchronization, practicing maneuvers that demand both precision and patience. Each step is deliberate, as if they are part of a singular flowing organism. The fidā'ī are whispered to be more than just warriors. They are the embodiment of unwavering fidelity and a cause greater than themselves. Over the years, they hone their skills in secrecy, mastering every move, every breath, every heartbeat. Historians still debate whether their training was all-consuming, with tales of them scaling impossible heights or disappearing into shadows as easily as they breathe. Tonight you catch a glimpse into their world. Somewhere beyond the courtyard, a grizzled instructor stands with the bearing of an old oak tree, grounded and unmoved by the whispers of time. His presence commands attention without a word. His beard is a cascade of white, and his eyes hold stories of missions untold. You learn that these young aspirants, some barely having reached an age where childhood ends, pledge with every fiber of their being to a cause that may sound mythical to outsiders. In the rustle of leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl, you think about the unwavering courage it must take to offer one's life in this way. You notice how the recruits' weary, yet steadfast push through with an intensity that speaks volumes. After all, their journey does not only demand physical prowess. They must mold their minds like clay, shaped with doctrines and beliefs that time cannot dust away. Legend goes that on the completion of their training, one would often ask, if called upon, would you hesitate to sacrifice your life? The answer, forged through years of grueling preparation, was expected to be a resolute no. Interestingly, though, the methods of their training remain as shrouded in mystery as the names of those who trained them. In the dim hue of the lanterns that line the pathways, you ponder the stories that whisper just beyond your hearing. Some ancient tales speak of mystical gardens, where initiates achieved enlightenment as much through contemplation as through action. The poetic juxtaposition of fierceness and serenity is embodied perfectly here. You might be amused to know that historians also recount tales of elaborate feasts being used as a test of loyalty, where a brave heart was measured not by their deeds in battle, but by their ability to resist the subtle temptations of the senses. Perhaps it was their ability to merge these seemingly contradictory paths that made the fidā'ī so remarkable. On nights like this, the mountains around you seem to lean in closer, listening to these age-old rituals. The sheer tenacity of each individual is palpable, but so is the calm acceptance of their chosen path. Here beneath the canopy of stars, you sense both the solitude and companionship that binds the fidā'ī. As the hours drift, the recruits finally come to rest, and the courtyard falls into a peaceful silence. Underneath the canopy of stars, you too find a sense of calm, entranced by the timeless devotion that flickers like the lanterns guiding the path. This sense of collective purpose, the harmonious unity of mind, body, and spirit, becomes a lullaby of sorts, a peaceful assurance in the steady rhythm of breathing, something that you carry with you into rest. As you follow the flowing path of gently flickering torches, an ancient story unfolds, one that weaves through shadows and whispers in hushed tones. Picture yourself walking through a narrow alleyway. Its cobbled stones echo with the footsteps of those who walked long before you. The cool, serene night brushes your skin as you delve into the heart of a tale that's both unsettling and mesmerizing. The Hashashin, an enigmatic order whose name resonates with mystery, were known not for large armies or battles, but for their ability to strike fear deeply into the hearts of their foes from within the shadows. With the precision of a hawk swooping down on its prey, they executed assassinations that left vast ripples across the political landscape, proving might isn't always tied to numbers or grandiose violence. Their methods were precise and calculated, often unfolding in public eye, delivering unmistakable warnings. You step further into the alley, guided by faint whispers of history, catching glimmers of cunning and intelligence in the Hashashin's approach, tickling your curiosity while simultaneously sending a chill down your spine. It becomes clear that their impact transcended mere physical acts of violence. Each assassination was laden with political messages, seeds of fear sown meticulously to sprout suspicion and paranoia among the ranks of power. One memorable account whispers to you across time. A leader surrounded by guards finds himself unexpectedly vulnerable as the Hashashin's blade strikes true, seemingly out of thin air. Historians paint vivid images of the aftermath when the sight of the fallen leader at the center of a grand marketplace unfurled chaos and silence, in equal measure a silent testament to the depths of the Hashashin's reach. Yet, like a shadowy breeze, secrets surround their precise methods, how they integrated themselves so seamlessly into the heart of the gatherings. They targeted the moments right before the chaos unfolded. Some tales recount them as specters of the night, while others suggest a mastery of disguise that left even the closest ally unassuming of their true intent. Amidst the growing tapestry of this story, you find a curious detail tugging at your thoughts. Did the Hashashin rely solely on human stealth? Or was there an affinity with nature at play? Did the wind's rustling leaves and the muted nocturnal calls aid their movements, cloaking their approach in the natural symphony of the night? This question of how intertwined they were with the elements remains a puzzle, inviting speculation as one ponders the very essence of their art. Despite the calculated hush, there's lightness in your step, a gentle acknowledgement that the world in all its danger also brimmed with stories that exhilarate as much as they intimidate, weaving a complex narrative that blankets your imagination like a woven quilt. Even as you light upon the historical reality of their assassinations, you recognize the solace that comes from knowing there's room for uncertainty. Historians still debate whether Hashashin whispered to have used hallucinogens in their preparations, were partly fueled by substances that heightened their senses and resolve, or if this notion stems from fearful exaggerations of their foes seeking to demonize them further. With a slow exhale, you weave through the tendrils of history and shadows, assured that the journey through these tales will continue to unfurl and captivate as the candlelight dances and the night hums softly around you. To provide you with a seamless continuation of the story, I can begin with a segment based on your outline description. Since Section 8 involves Grand Vizier Nizam al-Mulk and the fears instilled by a particular group during the era of the Crusades, I'll pick up the story there. In a time when whispers carried tales of shadowy figures moving stealthily under the cover of night, you find yourself drawn into a realm where every step feels heavy, with the echoes of both triumph and treachery. The air is thick with an intangible mix of reverence and dread. Two seemingly opposing forces, intertwined like the twisting tendrils of smoke from incense burned in Nizam al-Mulk's court. Nizam the Grand Vizier was no stranger to power-wielding influence like a master swordsman. His presence commanded attention. His policies shaped the landscapes of empires. Yet tonight, as you drift closer into this world, you feel the haunting realization that not even this mighty figure could escape the long-reaching grasp of those who preferred the shadows of infamy over the rigid light of day. You step softly into the tale, just as the vizier must have stepped into his fateful day, unaware that history was conspiring to carve his name into its annals with a dagger's point. It is said he was returning from an evening journey when the silent night's tranquility erupted into chaos. An assassin lurking with the patience of time itself lay cloaked within the folds of anonymity. With a chilling efficiency, the attack was carried out swift final, and leaving political ripples that historians today still try to fully interpret. The whispers of the day posited reasons filled pages with assumptions, but historians debate whether the vizier was a victim of personal vendetta, a pawn sacrificed in the grand chess game of power, or simply a casualty of an unpredictable world where even the mightiest could fall prey to an undercurrent of fear. In this realm, where treachery danced on the same floors as honor, a wave of unease swept through the corridors of authority, stretching beyond Islamic lands and washing ashore among those who led Crusader armies. The assassin's reputation burgeoned, almost becoming myth, with the speed of folklore spreading among both camps 1 foot in the Islamic world they intimately understood, and another stepping into the shadowed thoughts of Christian leaders, suddenly keenly aware of their own fragility. You glide along through this narrative of suspense and sensation as the tension seems to vibrate in the air, much like that unnerving moment when silence grows so loud you expect it to shatter. Even now you sense how the vizier's death marked a turning point, the point where a name whispered in the darkest corners could inspire terror that stood unbroken by walls of stone or rank. Such were the stories that built the legend, each strand woven with a precision matching that of the silks adorning the courts. The potency of belief, whether in swords or shadows, crafted images of lurking threats, poised at every corner just out of sight, but painted vividly within one's thoughts. Strange rumors circulated about this enigmatic group capable of striking down a man as potent as Nizam al-Mulk. It was said in hushed tones that the assassins themselves practiced such intense secrecy and devotion that effort itself bore an almost supernatural quality. Some speculated their methods were steeped in elaborate rituals, designed not only to protect secrets, but to cast a mental fog over any who might seek to unveil their truths. Your footing in this tableau of past ambition and intrigue feels solid yet fleeting, as if walking through dreams, built upon memories that never entirely settled into clear truth. It's the juxtaposition of certainties and possibilities offering a lull that reels you closer, deeper into tales, now echoing through time's halls. As you reflect, casting your thoughts as wide as time itself, you imagine these voices, a collection of survival tales, chuckling softly at the modern world, yet still ready to impart wisdom. How the vizier's fall invoked cautionary practices, or doubt historians teeter between lectures and hypothesis. Yet the true vibe of this bygone era feels very tangible. With the soft murmur of history as your guide, your focus shifts, pondering whether this fear spread because of those who orchestrated their missions, or perhaps because very few could exceed the audacity of such calculated chaos. Yet, as the winds of the past rustle through your senses, relaxing each as the tale settles, you know that, like all legends explaining it, may hold less weight than experiencing its whisper on the silent night air. In the soft glow of the moonlight filtering through the cracks of the wooden shutters, you find that history is whispering its ancient tales as your eyes drift slowly to the heavy eyelids of the past. Tonight, you're taken back to a time of cunning strategies and delicate balances, a time when the Nizaris Ismailis, known as the assassins to their enemies, moved like shadows within the realm of the Seljuks. It was an era fraught with conflict and tension, but one where surprising alliances flickered into existence like unexpected stars on a clouded night. You wander gently through a landscape littered with intrigue and subtle maneuverings. Picture yourself walking down the bustling streets of a city in the Persian Empire, where the scent of spices mingles with the earthy aroma of the crowded bazaars. Scholars and merchants haggle beneath vibrant awnings, the vibrancy of human interaction, a stark contrast to the quiet negotiations that often took place in the darkened chambers you're about to enter. The Nizaris, who often found themselves in open conflict with the Seljuk Empire, also knew the value of strategic peace. Your journey brings you to a secret meeting, hushed voices sharing a truce, whispered beneath the dim flicker of candlelight. Here enemies become unlikely partners, pooling their wits to achieve a moment of respite in a relentless game of chess on a grand geopolitical board. The Nizari leaders, whose reputations were baked within shadows and whispered lore, were masters of timing and opportunity. One canonical historical fact lingers in this room. The infamous Hassan-i Sabbah. The Nizari leader enjoyed an unfathomable network of support. He once reportedly said, "Nothing is true. Everything is permitted," a mantra that underpinned the Nizari's unpredictability and flexibility. Historians still debate whether Hassan-i Sabbah truly uttered these words, but the very uncertainty adds an uncanny allure to the legacy he left behind. It was this unpredictability that made the Nizari an enigma, wrapped within the chaos of the times. The dim room breathes with an unusual atmosphere, almost palpable with tension. You notice the Seljuk envoys seated across from their Nizari counterparts, their expressions masked by practiced ease. Both sides know the delicate dance they perform is less about friendship and more about mutual benefit, a temporary balm to a festering wound. In this dimly lit chamber, humble couriers become pivotal actors in whispered negotiations. Who would suspect these seemingly innocuous messengers of carrying more than simple letters? Each scroll a carefully crafted bridge between war and peace. The Nizaris strategy wasn't all blood and sharpened blades. It was an intricate web of treaties and favors, of which you now stand at the center. You learn here that even whispers in the dark can change the fate of nations, and sometimes the boldest move is not a dagger in the night, but an olive branch extended under the veil of secrecy. There's something almost magical about the realization that not everything is as it appears. Just as you begin to drift deeper into this historical reverie, unexpected details catch your attention, the way a seemingly innocuous gift of silks serves as a token of the fragile peace, a covert deal sealed beneath the guise of diplomacy. It is these little details, these moments of human interaction amidst grand historical episodes that anchor you gently into the narrative. The tale unfolds further, revealing a world where truces were as frail as the threads that spun them, easily severed, but surprisingly resilient when conditions were favorable. You sense in these moments a shared understanding among foes, a realization that survival sometimes requires letting go of animosity, if only for a brief interlude. As you meander through this story, you grasp the reality that the Nizaris were not solely about confrontation. Theirs was also a narrative of survival through adaptability. Each strategic decision was a ripple in a pond, its effects spreading to realms unknown. You grow to appreciate this dance of shadows and allies of enemies, sometimes too weary to do anything other than clasp hands in reluctant accord. And so the tale eases you further into contemplation, the room's tension and negotiation having dissipated into a quiet resignation, a brief calm amid the storm. The flicker of history's candle grows gentler, and you are left with the comforting thought that in a world of chaos, even those perceived as adversaries can be strategic partners, quietly crafting pockets of peace in a turbulent sea. With this serene realization, let yourself float gently onward your journey through sands of time and lore, gradually deepening into the soft folds of slumber. As the sun casts its warm glow over the ancient terrace plots, your day begins with a gentle awakening. These plots, etched meticulously into the hillside, are the lifeline of your small, secluded community. Each level teems with life, vibrant crops standing in proud defiance of gravity. Here, farming isn't just a task. It's a dance, a harmonious interaction with the land. You rise early, as the community has done for generations, tending to these plots, with hands weathered by work and time. Your fingers brush over the earthy soil, planting seeds that will yield food, not only for the body, but for the soul of your community. The rich smell of earth mixed with the fragrant herbs nearby fills the air, creating a natural perfume. There's a gentle slope to the terraces, an ingenious design forced by necessity. Centuries past when space was precious and survival depended on ingenuity. Amidst these plots, life blooms beyond the fields. Just a stone's throw away, the quaint charm of your homes echoes with the gentle rustle of pages turning. Reading is treasured here, with each person seen cradling a book at every chance. The love for literature, deeply embedded within this society, means tales of old often intermingle with the gentle gossip of your daily chores. You might find yourself resting against the sturdy stone walls of a terrace, reading aloud to a group gathered in a semicircle around you, every face illuminated by both the story and the setting sun. Your community thrives on these stories not only for their entertainment, but for how they weave your connection to history. As your voice floats over tales of heroism and folly, you are all keenly aware of the world beyond these hills, yet content within your cloistered sanctuary. Historians still debate whether such focused delving into past narrative was a mere escape or a form of intellectual armor. But moment by moment, these stories reshape your understanding of both past and future. At the heart of your spiritual life lies theology, not imposed dogma, but an exploration, a gentle unfolding of cosmic mysteries. It's in the quiet moments of study, the sacred texts open before you where you ponder endless questions. Sometimes, in the soft quietude of these sessions, doubts emerge. Theologians may differ on interpretations, and debates echo in the candlelit room, reflecting a world ponderously balanced between belief and inquiry. Mathematics, astronomy, and logic form the other bedrock of your intellectual pursuits. The local schools, modest yet rich, in spirit pulse with life and lively discussion. Your educators in their simple robes uncover the universe's secrets with chalk and slate. From the mathematical patterns in the nature surrounding you to the stars you gaze at come nightfall. These studies reveal cosmic dances far grander than the terrace's own choreography. Each session brings new wonder. The students sit in hushed awe as teachers make unfathomable distances and numbers tangible and warm under their capable hands. But here's something they might not have told you. Did you know the tallest known mountain in the universe is on Mars' Olympus Mons, far taller than anything on Earth, just like your aspirations that reach for the stars? Eyes wide, you imagine climbing it, a journey as wondrous and daunting as understanding infinity. Walking back home, post-lessons, the universe still whirling in your mind, you might ponder if your ancestors could ever imagine the breadth of knowledge you now shoulder. While farming these terraces did, they envision understanding the very timetable of celestial bodies. Evening falls gradual like a thoughtful teacher. Lamps flicker to life across the village, echoed by the twinkling stars overhead. Gathered once more, your community reflects on the day's learning, sharing discoveries over shared meals and laughter. Softly, the evening air carries the scent of the herbs planted with care long before. The comfort of routine cushions you as laughter carries you into the quiet night, the promise of tomorrow's truths, a lullaby sung by the stars. Together, you've created a place where the communion of souls fosters not only survival, but profound understanding and shared joy. Your thoughts untangle as you drift into that gentle transition of dusk into night, knowing you'll wake to the familiar warmth of sun and soil once more. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a bustling ancient marketplace in northern Persia. The noise is a soothing hum a blend of animated haggling, gentle laughter, and the melodic call of a vendor selling spices. Glancing around, you see traders leading camels laden with rich silks, artists displaying stunning mosaics, and others selling luscious fruits that seem to promise the taste of sunshine. You feel a breeze, awakening your senses as it carries familiar scents of cinnamon and saffron, stirring your curiosity and luring you deeper in. As you wander, you happen upon a group of people engaged in animated discussion, gesturing dramatically. They speak of infamous tales whispered over fires. They mention the fidā'ī members of the Nizaris Ismailis, whose daring exploits have captured the fascination of many. You're drawn to these stories of courage and mystery, wondering about the truth behind them. Some say these assassins could blend in anywhere, their loyalty unwavering, their missions daring. Yet there's a particular tale that piques your imagination. Whispers among the crowd touch upon tales so peculiar they seem almost unreal. There's a mention of a clandestine garden, a fabricated paradise, designed to invoke unwavering loyalty in the fidā'ī. Some accounts claim these gardens were lush, beyond compare a vivid utopia where the assassins tasted pleasures meant only for the afterlife, all to bind them to their cause. You can almost see it, the vibrant greens, unfamiliar flowers in bloom, cascading waterfalls under a serene sky. Historians, unsurprisingly, have debated these stories with vigor. Could a leader have truly orchestrated such an elaborate scheme, drugging his followers with hashish to simulate an otherworldly experience? It's a point of contention whether this notion was born from fact or a clever bit of propaganda, something the ruler's enemies concocted to sully his reputation. Just as when you've heard tales of warriors crossing icy rivers in sandals, you feel that familiar tug between myth and reality. As you drift further into this reverie, you imagine yourself in that fantastical garden. Would you feel the soft grass underfoot and hear the comforting trickling of water from every corner? The air is warm, but not stifling, like a gentle hug encircling you. And with each breath, you inhale an intoxicating fragrance, as if every bloom were bidding you welcome. You wonder in this scripted paradise, would the taste of juicy pomegranates and the laughter of beautiful companions outweigh the demands of your mission outside? Perhaps that imagined indulgence was enough to tether one's allegiance, making bold acts seem not only possible but meritorious. It's a peculiar thought. Whether these gardens existed or not, they remind you of human ingenuity and the lengths leaders will go to inspire loyalty or instill fear. The debate surrounding these tales persists as enigmatic as ever. From sitting in the market square, listening to hushed conversations, you gather that some scholars lean toward the narrative of exaggerated fiction spun by the enemies of the Ismailis to demystify and vilify them at once. Others nod toward an embellished version of the truth, perhaps rooted in real feats of psychological prowess, the likes of which history loves to weave into legend. As twilight descends upon your imagined garden, you meander out of its warm embrace, taking a last look at the bold colors that blur into shadows under the indigo night. There's a tranquility here, a knowing calm that what's real lies somewhere between the tangible and the whispers you've heard. In your journey tonight, pondering the stories of the mystic fidā'ī and their mythical gardens, there's an invitation to find your own peace amidst uncertainty. Your steps gradually slow and the market's music fades, wrapping around you like a gentle lullaby, inviting you to rest and dream. Beyond the mountains and valleys surrounding Alamut, there lies a tapestry of hidden fortresses and intricate routes that weave their stories in the shadows. It's an expanse dominated by the Nizaris, whose influence extends from the rugged terrains of Rudbar to the mystical peaks of Syria. You find yourself wandering through this chain of strongholds, each a unique tapestry of history and legend, connected like beads on a necklace across the land. As you walk through winding paths, each step takes you deeper into a network that feels almost alive, breathing with stories and mystery. The Nizaris, known for their strategic cunning, have left an indelible mark on these lands. Their fortresses, perched high and often shrouded in mist, give a sense of almost mystical omnipresence. It's as if they watch over the land, guardians unseen yet deeply felt. One such storied place exists amidst these strongholds, the elusive Masyaf castle in Syria. Tales of the fabled leader Hassan-i Sabbah often echo through these corridors, entwined with whispers of an elite band of Nizari fidā'īn. These assassins of legend, highly trained, could infiltrate the tightest defenses, their prowess part reality, part enigmatic lore. You wonder if their footsteps still echo in the silence of these stones. As you meander through the corridors, the fortresses reveal their secrets more willingly than they once did to outsiders. A narrow passage here, a concealed chamber there. Each corner hides tales that have been debated through the ages. One tale suggests that these strongholds were linked by intricate underground passages, yet historians still debate whether such stories of subterranean networks hold more myth than truth. Under the pale moonlight, the landscape changes. Familiar structures transform into silhouettes that dance with the shadows. The strongholds, near impenetrable by design, seem less forbidding, wrapped in the night's comforting embrace. You find a moment of serenity in this world that once vibrated with the tension of perpetual watchfulness. You pause to consider an unusual detail that has always intrigued historians. Within this web of castles and fortresses, secrecy was paramount, yet it is said that the Nizaris would sometimes use botanical concoctions to encourage trances, blurring the lines between legend and reality. The truth may dwell somewhere in the mix of anecdote and evidence, always just tantalizingly out of reach. Walking towards another fortress, this time it's Qalat al-Qawabi. You feel the solid stones beneath your feet, each imbued with years of history and countless stories whispered through time. In the architecture, you see the ingenuity of design intertwined with the necessity of defense. Their very creation, a testament to the resilience and strategic genius of those who once lived here. The moon hangs high, casting its gentle glow over the valleys and peaks stretching beyond. The world feels softer, enveloped in a twilight that comforts and conceals in equal measure. As you settle down against the sturdy walls, a thought occurs to you like the goat fat trick for fireproofing you heard about earlier. The Nizaris' mastery over these fortresses lay not just in the stone, but in the clever customs that ensured their survival. And so, nestled in the quietude of the stronghold, lulled by the muted whispers of history and legends swirling in the night air, you find yourself on the edge of dreams. Here, where the tangible meets the ethereal, the stories of the Nizari strongholds fade into a comforting hum, allowing you to drift softly into restful sleep. As you slowly come to realize the world surrounding you, you find yourself in a thriving, vibrant community during a period when women played roles that textbooks often overlook. It's a time when shifting sands of change moved subtly underfoot, leaving traces of profound influence, yet always seamless and rarely highlighted. You wander through a village where everyone knows each other. The streets wind like a gentle river, and each house is adorned with memories, inscriptions, passed down, if you will, from mother to daughter. The air carries whispers of stories, untold secrets, hidden in plain sight, if only one knows how to listen. Women here are pillars quiet, yet formidable. History might not fully acknowledge it, but you can sense their presence in the very foundation of learning. It's in the local school tucked away, but alive with the murmurs of knowledge being passed down. Imagine mothers and grandmothers with eyes full of wisdom and voices that carry the richness of ages, guiding young ones with stories that ignite imagination and questions that reveal the world's wonders. The classroom isn't just a place, it's a living quilt, stitched with old tales and new dreams binding generations together. And it's not just the education they tend. When dusk falls, faith becomes a warm blanket wrapping around the community. Despite the hushed tones, you can tell these women are not only participants, but keepers of faith. Religious rituals and songs echo their balance between tradition and the slow pulse of change. They didn't just hold the faith, they breathed life into it, ensuring its survival through generations. Interestingly, historians still debate whether these gatherings were also veiled as secret meetings for other causes passing on, more than just spiritual guidance. Your path takes you deeper into the heart of this lively intersection between the past and present, a hidden world of secret communication. Like whispers on the wind, you wonder if there was a system of codes in those needlecrafts, or perhaps in the songs, messages passed discreetly amongst women threading their influence through the fabric of the community. Some scholars propose this with hypotheses wrapped in equal mystery and intrigue, much like the cryptic tapestries hung in their homes. This night enveloped in gentle shadows, and the soft hum of nature's lullaby feels more like an embrace than a stroll down memory lane. Women, their roles rarely recorded as extensively as their male counterparts, have always been preservers of culture. They move like ghosts unseen in the day's light, yet illuminating the night with their quiet strength. They hold keys to knowledge and culture that endure beyond the written texts created by a society reluctant to fully express their influence. They are the stories that do not need grand statues or solemn dedications. The proof of their legacy lies in the daily interactions, the mannerism of the children, and the unspoken understanding between community members. Much like the subtle ink in the depths of history's pages, they add layers and nuances, bringing a sense of completeness. You sense the community's bond in little things, shared laughter at marketplaces, the way they rally around one another during hardships, and celebrate triumphs with exuberance that transcends the ordinary. Women remain at the center of this, an anchor in the ever-evolving story of life. There is respect here for them that runs as deep as the roots of the eldest trees lining the village square. They are unseen custodians of enduring heritage, weaving threads of continuity across the ages. Their contributions, while not shouted from rooftops, remain vitally steadfast. In your nighttime journey here, you discover the gentle equilibrium they maintain. Their lives sketch a picture of quiet resilience and enduring wisdom, where actions speak in vibrations rather than loud clamor, yet leave an indelible mark. As you move away, you do not see a monument dedicated to these women, but you feel it in the continued lines of community rituals and every piece of knowledge eagerly gripped by young hands. In every lullaby, humming through quiet evenings, and every secret message sewn into garments, their influence reverberates across time, sustaining the culture just as much as any other unearthed artifact. With the town now winding down as the soft night engulfs the sky, you feel a tug of comfort, confidence in knowing that these stories, while rarely told, continue to thrive. All around you, memories bottle the past's essence, preserved in the gentle hands of those who guard it. Tonight their spirit cradles you, fueling dreams that chase the horizon. Now close your eyes and let their whispers guide your thoughts, easing your way through the night, much like these custodians have ensured the continuity of culture, education, and faith. Rest easy, knowing what's hidden doesn't fade. It shines calmly when you allow yourself the quiet pause to see it. And as these voices soften into the hush of the night, let your mind drift into a serene landscape where history, once invisible, becomes your quiet companion across the gentle lull of dreams. In the warm glow of flickering lanterns, you find yourself in a bustling marketplace where the air is thick with the aroma of spices and the low hum of animated discussion. Philosophers and scholars wander between stalls, their robes gently brushing the cobblestones as they exchange ideas. You overhear snippets of conversations, many featuring names that echo through history, such as Al-Ghazali and Avicenna. These are not just ordinary thinkers. They are part of a grand tradition of intellectual exchange, and tonight you are but a silent observer of their timeless dialogue. Imagine these thinkers as stars in a vast sky, each illuminating a different part of the world below. Al-Ghazali, with his probing questions and philosophical depth, challenges the views of others around him. Avicenna, with his profound grasp of medicine and philosophy, stands at an ancient stall lined with dusty scrolls. Here, an unspoken contest of wisdom is underway. But rather than stand as adversaries, their approaches blend together like colors on a canvas, creating a new, harmonious picture. Among these heavy discussions, your attention is drawn to a young Ismaili scholar who eagerly hovers around the discussions like a moth drawn to flame. The Ismailis, known for their philosophical inquiries, have a knack for synthesizing the rich wells of Greek philosophy with the intricate beauty of Islamic theology. It's an eclectic dance of ideas as they adeptly translate Aristotle and Plato into a lexicon that speaks to their spiritual lineage. Nearby, you notice the scholar holding a thin manuscript that flutters gently in the breeze. His eyes are alight with curiosity as he pores over passages, perhaps attempting to reconcile theories of existence with the teachings of the Quran. There is an excitement in the air, hinting at a new discovery or realization just a whisper away. A surprising turn comes when you overhear a snippet about the universe being in constant motion like a spinning wheel. This unusual notion, seemingly at odds with the common belief of a static universe, captivates a small group of listeners. Historians still debate whether such discussions planted the seeds for later astronomical discoveries. But tonight, it's as if these scholars are catching glimpses of truths far beyond their time. With each passing moment, you feel yourself becoming more enmeshed in this world of intellectual curiosity. The marketplace becomes a tapestry of ideas, some threads familiar, others intriguing and new. You lean into a conversation about the nature of the soul, where a heated debate draws forth both consensus and contention. The Ismailis, in their distinctive way, offer an idea of the soul as intimately connected to the divine, yet traversing a path of enlightenment and discovery. Dialogue ebbs and flows, punctuated occasionally by soft laughter or the clink of copper cup against table. One Ismaili philosopher uses an analogy about a pearl, how sometimes the harsh grains of sand within an oyster are necessary to create something of beauty and value. It's a reminder of how adversity and challenge can polish and refine not just ideas, but individuals too. Amidst the ebbing light and deepening night, you sense a profound tranquility in this vibrant kaleidoscope of thought. Here, learning is both the question and the answer, an endless exploration of what is known and what remains a mystery. It's the merging of intellect and faith. And perhaps, just perhaps, you realize that this is a journey still unfolding. As your eyes begin to grow heavy, it feels as though you've stumbled upon your own fragment of wisdom within the crumbling scrolls and whispered secrets of ages past. And so, with a heart full of newfound wonder and a mind stirred by ancient philosophies, you gently close your eyes, letting the rustle of ideas guide you to rest. As you navigate the intricate web of secretive whispers and clandestine meetings, you find yourself at the heart of a medieval mystery. Underneath the moon's serene glow, you wander through the narrow corridors of a stone castle. Inside these medieval walls, the tension is palpable, as if each stone has soaked up centuries' worth of secrets and betrayals. You, dear listener, have stumbled into a time when East met West, not just in battle, but in subtler, more covert exchanges. Through dimly lit halls, echoing with the rustle of cloaks and the soft clang of armor, you can almost hear the soft murmur of voices engaged in quiet negotiation. Surprisingly, these conversations sometimes include unlikely participants, the enigmatic Hashashin, known to strike fear into many, yet here they are leaning into secret parleys with European knights. It seems that amid the reckonings of historical records, their political acumen was as sharp as their blades. Historians still debate whether these meetings happened in shadowed alcoves or if messages were exchanged cloak and dagger style, hidden in plain sight, perhaps slipped into a knight's gauntlet as he prepared for battle. What is known, however, is the fascinating interplay of motives, the Hashashin, seeking to leverage their strategic position, were willing to negotiate with the very forces many thought they opposed. In a world painted in the harsh hues of crusades and conflict, these interactions add a layer of nuance, suggesting a sophisticated dance beyond mere warfare. Ponder this, listener, a council of knights huddled together, their helms casting shadows on stone walls, discussing terms not of surrender but perhaps of alliance, or at least mutual benefit with a group some would have called their sworn enemies. Now you pause at a spiraling staircase descending into an underground chamber where these secret councils might have whispered long into the night. The air is dense with possibility. It's almost as if you can hear the voices subtle, persuasive and yet elusive, as they weave an intricate tapestry of diplomacy. Would they exchange valuable intelligence? Perhaps negotiate a strategic withdrawal in a particular region, a brief respite where swords ceased clashing and history held its breath? Such moments demand an imagination as vivid as the chronicle's unsaid situations, where the written and unwritten blur, and yet remain tantalizingly distinct. But in the back of your mind, there's also the acknowledgement of uncertainty, the gray areas of history where facts are lost to time and personal motives remain elusive. After all, much like the soft, wispy shadows flickering along the stone walls, not all mysteries are meant to be fully illuminated. As you lean against the cool stone pondering these questions, you notice a parchment half tucked into a crevice. Unrolling it, you find faded script written in a language unfamiliar, yet strangely resonant with the secrets below and above. There's an air of revelation, yet to be discovered, a whispered understanding that not all battles are won or lost on the field, but often in the quiet, deliberate conversations that decide the fate of nations. This realization settles over you softly, like a cloak against the chill night air. Finally, as the narratives of knights and assassins begin to wind gently around you like a snug, reassuring blanket, the lull of history prepares to ease you into rest. You let the stories of past intrigues and strategic brilliance nestle in your mind, allowing them to guide you deeper into the realm of dreams, where the boundaries between time and place effortlessly blur into the gentle swirling embrace of night. For tonight's journey, you find yourself in a time long before the hustle and bustle of modern life, a time marked by shifting powers and hidden influences. It is the year 1124, and the world is a tapestry of profound change and quiet whispers. Imagine the grand tapestries of history, weaving stories of intrigue and strategy where leaders move in the shadows, unseen yet profoundly felt. After the great leader's passing, the world enters a mysterious phase where successors choose anonymity over fame, and imams drift into secrecy, steering their influence quietly. You walk through a bustling medieval bazaar, its air thick with the sense of exotic spices and the distant echo of merchants marketing their exotic treasures. You might pass by people deep in hushed conversations, a signal of the era's new way, where influence grows, not from the throne, but from the whispers shared behind closed doors. For a moment, picture yourself eavesdropping on a conversation, grasping the intention behind veiled words. The leaders from these times were like exceptional chess players, always thinking several moves ahead, yet remaining unseen, much like a gentle breeze that guides a ship without troubling the waters. This subtle dance of power and secrecy defined the age, shaping the path of nations without ever stepping into the limelight. You may wonder how anonymity transpired, how great figures began to step back from the stage. This was an epoch where public action retreated, making way for quiet influence. Interestingly, the rulers weren't restless with invisibility. Rather, their anonymous leadership mirrored the movement of celestial bodies, steadfast, timeless, and profoundly impactful. You ponder if history files remember the names of those who ruled silently. Historians still debate whether such a decrease in visibility was a strategic maneuver to prevent political unrest, or perhaps it was a method drawn from deeper philosophical beliefs, valuing the notion that true leadership requires no recognition. And now, as you drift deeper into this era's mysteries, another remarkable note arises. Imagine a period when leadership dynamics shifted as swiftly as desert sands in the Arabian wind. The imams, once revered and seen, found themselves conducting influence through quieter means, like a maestro, leading an orchestra from within the depths of the ensemble, where subtle nods and timing create a symphony that stirs the soul without needing a spotlight. In these times, the shifting of the great chessboard of world politics wasn't celebrated or seen, but rather felt a ripple moving through society. Like a whispered promise between old friends, the changes were profound, yet tender, crafting history without uproar or thunder. The society itself adapted individuals, thriving on quiet strength instead of flamboyant displays of power. You live in an age where public acts were cloaked in secrecy and wrapped in the calm of discretion. Here, decisions are made from finely woven strategies, elegantly simple to the observer, but intricately complex underneath, like an artisan's finest embroidery, drawing strength from the unseen threads that bind it. No one can say with absolute certainty how these veiled leaders viewed their anonymous influence. Was it burdensome to carry such weight without the recognition of their peers? Or was it liberating a private triumph enjoyed without the glare of public scrutiny? This is where the ink ends in many historical tomes, teasing us with questions carried on the breeze of antiquity. Alongside these wondering whispers, consider what it meant for those who lived through this era of shadows. Many must have listened closely for shifts in the song of leadership, discerning truth in subtleties like how you might follow the rise and fall of a gentle lullaby, drawing towards its end. The people like you found comfort in the constancy of the unknown, guided by unspoken assurances, passed through generations. As these thoughts cradle you into the ease of a world, gently slumbering under the watchful eye of unseen guardians, there is something profoundly comforting in knowing that throughout history, hidden hands have often steered the journey with grace and care, much like how we ease into sleep, surrendering to the embrace of night, assured of dawn's light. Now, as the tale winds down, imagine the tranquility of starlight washing over ancient cities, a reminder that though leaders may hide and powers may shift, the stars remain constant, silently watching over the world's sleeping inhabitants, including you. As you breathe deeply, feel the gentle cradle of history rocking you into a peaceful slumber, reassured by the unchanging dance of time, which, like the quiet leader's influences, without fanfare, perpetually guiding us forward into dreams. The sun is setting over the vast expanse of the quiet hills, casting a gentle glow that reminds you of stories whispered in the eve of ancient times. You find yourself wandering through a realm where the passage of centuries unfolds gently before your eyes, and you are drawn into the world of a community that thrived on wisdom, devotion, and mysterious secrets that lingered like the echoes of footsteps in a long abandoned temple. As the military presence began to decline, you feel a subtle shift in the air, an almost imperceptible change in the rhythm of life. The clangor of weapons and the stormy banners that had once been ever present slowly vanish into the mists of memory. Yet what captures your attention is not the silence left behind, but the vibrant hum of life that continues almost as if fueled by some secret inner fire. You wander through richly carved courtyards of an ancient school where the murmur of scholars debating timeless truths fills the air like a soothing cadence. These educational institutions, you quickly realize, are the heartbeats of the community, pulsing with the energy of minds, eager to learn, question, and explore the universe beyond the visible. Along the corridors, the scent of old parchment mingles with the fragrant aroma of the gardens outside. You see young students huddled over scrolls, their faces aglow with curiosity, which is not so different from the enigmatic expressions of teachers who claim to know the hidden wisdom of the ages. Historians still debate whether these teachers truly possessed secret knowledge or were just exceptionally good at creating an aura of mystery. Either way, it keeps the halls alive with an enchanting allure. But education is not the only thread that weaves this community together. As you move through the narrow winding streets where houses lean in conspiratorially, as if sharing secrets of their own, you encounter the pious devotion to hidden imams, a belief deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. This devotion, quietly steadfast, is like an invisible tether, binding them to both their past and their future. There is reverence here, a kind of peaceful resistance against the forgetfulness that time often brings. You come across a small gathering where stories of the imams are shared with such fervent loyalty that you almost feel the presence of these elusive figures guiding the faithful with invisible hands. It's a faith as much about the unseen as it is about the seen, and there is a beauty in the way it shapes every gentle whisper, every glance exchanged among the listeners. Missionary networks, too, crisscross the landscape like invisible threads, forging connections beyond the immediate horizon. These are not just journeys across physical distances, but voyages into the soul, bringing hearts and minds into a shared rhythm. It's surprising just how far these networks reach, bridging worlds and ideas with a grace that defies the ordinary constraints of roads and paths. One particular tale catches your ear about a missionary who once traversed the great unknown territories with nothing more than a humble satchel of books, a story that seems almost too adventurous to be true. Yet the impact of these endeavors is undeniable, shaping the way people think and feel, lighting corners of the world with the bright spark of understanding. Amidst this tapestry of learning, spirituality, and gentle exploration, there is an extraordinary detail that brings a wry smile to your face. A legend, often whispered in jest, tells of a young scholar who, in a bold act of curiosity, decided to weigh a sacred relic to prove its authenticity. The scandal this caused, you realize, must have been the ancient equivalent of accidentally sending an email to the entire office. Yet it underscores a subtle truth about this community, even amidst devout belief and reverence. Questioning and learning are celebrated. You find yourself drawn into this rhythm, the pulse of a society that thrums with quiet resilience. Even as the sun dips below the horizon, leaving the sky streaked with whispers of lavender and gold, there is a deep sense of continuity. The decline of military might seems less an essence and more a soft transformation, where the soul of the community adapts and thrives through other means. As you stroll along the moonlit path, you can't help but think of your own place in this story. You are part of this journey, an explorer in a night filled with tales, names, and events that have shaped this tapestry of human history. Your footsteps seem to match those of countless others who have walked these paths before, all in search of something that goes beyond the tangible and into the realm of the everlasting spirit. The evening stories fade gently, like the last notes of a lullaby, leaving you wrapped in a comforting blanket of timeless intrigue. You feel a peculiar contentment, knowing that the roots of what was and the possibilities of what could be continue to thrive, buoyed by enduring faith and the inexhaustible quest for knowledge. With the soft rustling of leaves and the gentle night breeze, you find that the tale has slipped seamlessly into the rhythms of sleep, inviting you to dream of worlds both lost and discovered, as endless as the stars above. The mountain fortress of Alamut looms quietly against the sky, nestled within the rugged Elburz range. Its walls, once formidable, now lay in ruins, and in the cool, whispering wind of the high peaks, you feel the residue of something colossal that had once pulsed with life wisdom and a mystery that still eludes history's emphatic conclusions. You walk along what remains of its pathways, footsteps echoing faintly, where once scholars and guardians of a secretive brotherhood tread with purpose and intent. Hulagu Khan. The Mongol conqueror had come with fury in his eyes and a sweeping army at his back. The terror of the Mongols was something stories had spoken of many times enough to curl toes and stiffen spines across the vast stretches of the medieval world. Yet despite the destruction he unleashed, it's you who explores the echoes of what Hulagu's devastation left behind. You pause at what had been the library's site, where countless texts were once housed, tomes containing secrets of philosophy, science, and the spiritual paths the Ismailis walked. This was no ordinary library. Some whispered of its exceptional collection that rivaled those of the great learning centers of its time. But fire spared no scroll, no book leaving behind only ashes of a grandeur that scholars still debate. Was it truly the mightiest buried treasure of knowledge the world had almost forgotten? As you trace your fingers along the charred stones, there's an undeniable weight in the absence of void that you can almost see swirling in the spaces between your thoughts. The knowledge burned, they say, but knowledge isn't so easily erased, is it? Like seeds scattered across fertile lands, it finds a way to grow anew. In the aftermath, the community scattered, blending into cities and secluded corners, carrying with them the embers of their philosophies and beliefs. The Ismailis, known for their intricate theological and philosophical interpretations, did not simply vanish like shadows at dawn, but found roots in different soils, growing quietly resilient to the historical storms that followed. And so you realize the legacy of Alamut is not just ruin and loss, but a testament to endurance, reflective of the human spirit that refuses to despair entirely, even when faced with absolute destruction. Historians still debate whether Hulagu's assault was more about politics, a clear sign of dominance, or a profound fear of the influence such a mind stronghold posed. Yet here you stand, amidst the silence, considering whether the true legacy of a place is the impact it had on the people who left, or the whispers it spins into the souls of those who would listen centuries beyond its fall. Even now, as you wrap yourself just a bit tighter in your robe, the cool mountain air delivers a sobering reminder that knowledge and beliefs may find refuge in unexpected places, just as they once did here, amidst these stony remnants. Staring into the heavens, painted with 1,000 glittering stars above you, you sense the surreal dance of time, past, present, and future, all converging here among the weeds and memories of Alamut. The Ismailis and the others like them would regather their strength, weaving their stories and lessons into new tapestries spread across the lands. Their philosophies brightened an enduring light, tucked safely within hearts disguised as mere tales, or shared as whispered truths. And so, as night draped deeper, and the stars held their silent vigilance over you, and history's grand tapestry, you hear the immortal tale, stitched into the quietude, reminding you that even in fleeting shadows, enduring legacies pave pathways of light for those who choose to see. In the comforting fold of this soft and expansive world, you find yourself wandering through the diverse tapestry of humanity's cultures and stories. Your journey this evening, much like the meandering path of a quiet stream, brings you to the Ismailis, a community whose spirit is both ancient and refreshingly modern. With a history that stretches back to the intricate and storied threads of Islamic tradition, the Ismailis have navigated through time with a balance of faith, innovation, and service. Today, this community is a vibrant splash across the canvas of the world, a living mosaic that can be found in the bustling streets of South and Central Asia, in the historic avenues of Europe, and beyond. As your slippers scuffle softly over the carpeted lands of these regions, you can almost hear the unmistakable hum of a community bound together by more than just faith. led by the charismatic and vision-driven figure of the Aga Khan. The Ismailis are renowned for their dedication to charitable work and education, leaving a gentle yet firm imprint on the world. Picture this: the Aga Khan, a figure as striking as he is empathetic, casting a watchful yet nurturing gaze over his community, much like a shepherd over his flock. His leadership is not merely ceremonial, but transformative, guiding the Ismailis through the complexities of the modern world while holding firmly to the values of compassion and progress. Under his guidance, the community's charitable initiatives blossom. Hospitals and schools sprout in places once considered desolate, like seeds coming to life in a desert rain. The Aga Khan Development Network, a venture established under his command, epitomizes this drive towards social betterment. But here's a surprising little twist for you. The depth of their impact is sometimes as hidden as the most guarded of treasures. There are whispers, not unlike those stirring in the leaves of a silent forest, that their impact extends far beyond mere charity. It's rumored their work has sown subtle threads, unseen yet unbreakable, into the very fabric of societies across continents. While scholars sometimes engage in spirited debate regarding the exact beginnings of the Ismailis somewhere in the fertile crescent of Persian lands, or the whispered corridors of Arabian Nights, one thing remains unscratched by doubt: their current endeavors paint a prosperous future. You find yourself entwined in the elegant complexity of their educational projects, which are celebrated for nurturing minds as fertile as the gardens of Babylon. These institutions spread across the world are harbors of knowledge and enlightenment, places where curiosity is cultivated with the same care a gardener affords to roses. As you walk further along this path, imagine attending a ceremony in Europe, sitting among an audience that is as varied and colorful as a wildflower meadow. Here, Ismailis from every corner of the world share in their collective identity, drawing strength from their unity, yet celebrating the unique threads that make each one distinct. The ceremony unfolds with a grace reminiscent of the most elaborate of dances, every movement precisely woven into the rich tapestry of their tradition. It's like opening a Russian matryoshka doll, where each figurine reveals another equally intricate and detailed layer. You notice that even as the ceremonies honor tradition, there's a light-heartedness to them, a gentle nod to centuries past, coupled with a cheeky wink to the future. In these moments, the present and the past intertwine like ivy, wrapping around an ancient oak, each supporting and enhancing the other. Historians, in their quest to untangle these vines, often ponder the exact influences the Ismailis had over regions they touched. Still, while academic uncertainty hovers like a playful shadow, what cannot be denied is the enduring and heartwarming presence of the Ismailis today. And so as you imagine yourself drifting to rest at the end of this journey, the tale of the Ismailis and their endeavors symphonically binds your thoughts, preparing you for the gentle embrace of sleep on the rocky heights where the fortress of Alamut once stood. You find yourself enveloped by the whispers of ancient winds. the stars above glimmer with stories carried across time, tales of loyalty, wisdom, and resolve echoing through the night air. In this moment, you stand on what feels like the edge of the world, with nothing but the vast sky above and the rugged cliffs surrounding you. The ruins beneath your feet are more than just stones. They're relics of a past tinged with mystery and intrigue. As you explore the ghostly remains of Iran's most enigmatic legacy, every step you take seems to awaken the legends buried within these walls. Built into the rocky crags of the Alborz Mountains, Alamut was more than just a fortress. It was a symbol of intellect and strategy. It's said that Hassan-i Sabbah, the mastermind behind the Order of Assassins, engineered the stronghold in the late 11th century with both cunning and foresight. His vision transcended mere architecture. Alamut became a bastion of learning and resistance in tumultuous times. Here, followers delved into texts that challenged concepts of power, leading to a movement that would shift the sands of Persia's history. Tonight you feel a strange connection to the past, as the cool winds carry fragments of conversations once had the decisions pondered by men and women united by a common purpose. Yet you probably won't survive this, the unexpected avalanche of ancient knowledge and the weight of what transpired here. But that's all part of the allure, isn't it? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. As you're perched atop this historical precipice, imagine your own modern-day timestamp post, your location and local time below, and share in this nightly adventure. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. With your eyes now adjusted to the deep blues and silvers of the night sky, you start to walk along the paths that have been hidden by time but preserved by mystery. Each step alights to the ground like a whisper, echoing softly against the ancient stones. Alamut's history is layered, like the sedimentary rocks upon which it was built, each era leaving an imprint. Yet historians still debate whether Hassan-i Sabbah reformed the citadel to its legendary status, or merely adapted existing structures for his purposes. The Order of Assassins, or the Nizaris Ismailis, found sanctuary within these walls, gathering strength through stealth and intellect rather than sheer force. Against a backdrop of constant conflict and political intrigue, their loyalty was their armor, their resolve as sharp as any blade forged within these halls. It is said that Hassan was a student of mathematics and philosophy, drawing upon a myriad of disciplines to guide his followers. With a library rumored to onboard more knowledge than the reigning empire's finest collections, Alamut was more than a fortress. It was a beacon for enlightenment, a place where the wise could ponder the mysteries of the world and venture upon solutions that defied their times. As you ponder this, a sudden gust of wind sweeps past like a playful reminder of the countless secret meetings that took place here. Some say you can still hear the faint rustle of parchment and the whispers of would-be revolutionaries planning their next move. Did these ancients ever envision the centuries they would span, the legends their lives would shape? The tales bring color to the place that in daylight may seem only monochrome and barren. But now, under the star-lit sky, each shadow tells a different story. Among the curiosities said to have occurred here, one of the most surprising tales tells of an instance when a supposedly captive prince held at Alamut was invited to dine with the leader himself. Rather than a threatening interaction, it turned into a philosophical debate over the nature of power and control. A testament to how sometimes understanding was wielded more effectively than domination. And there, as you reflect your senses, draw in another layer of Alamut's allure, its legacy intertwined with nature, just like the rumors that speak of secret gardens and complex irrigation systems that defied their arid surroundings. You feel the interconnectedness of this place with the land. The mountains sang with life of their own, mightier than kingdoms, unyielding as the resolve of those who once called this citadel home. Still doubts hover among scholars over these narratives. Did these tranquil gardens truly exist within this stone sanctuary? Or are they imagined by minds yearning for an oasis amidst history's harshest tales? As you ponder this, an owl swoops silently overhead, its wings a gentle hush against the night. Perhaps it's a guardian of these stories, ensuring they remain as vibrant as the night sky's constellations. You imagine yourself a scribe, entrusted with these stories, weaving them into your own understanding as you explore tonight. Alamut, standing in defiance against the passage of time, remains as a monument to the endurance of intellect and determination against the most towering odds. The stones beneath your feet echo with every consequence of its legacy. Decades of perseverance, clashes of ideologies, and the undying quest for truth. You sense the end of your journey nearing, and with a gentle acknowledgement to the winds and shadows, you allow yourself to relax. The cool air fills your lungs, a calming presence that reassures you as the narrative winds down. The whispers of loyalty, wisdom, and resolve have surrounded you now, gently receding like the tide, leaving you with a sense of serenity. As you lay back feeling the earth's quiet hum beneath you, imagine the warmth of a gentle breeze swaying softly across your face, coaxing your thoughts to rest. The stories of Alamut, though heavy with history, become a soothing lullaby, a reminder of the strength within wisdom and the quiet courage of those who dared to dream. Before you know it, the night's embrace embraces you fully, wrapping you in the comfort of these ancient echoes and guiding you softly into the realms of sleep.